All right, so the last test that I'm going to do on this, hold on. So, I am basically trying to see if there's any dropped frames. I had to restart the router, basically. I also sprayed the router with some dust off, which should help a little bit and give us a little bit of a leg up here. But we'll see. Let's select a live source. So it looks like there's no dropped frames, which is honestly a good thing. Also, we got the new Ethernet cable. We got a new Ethernet cable from Walmart. Got one of the on-brand ones. Seems pretty good. Data stream looks fantastic. Tap subscribe. Let's just see how everything looks. Yeah, it's looking like the microphone's good. Let's take a look, see if there's any interference. All right. Thank you guys for putting up all these tests, by the way. Hold on. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds really good. So the best part about the Yeti Blue is how much it picks up. It's pretty incredible, man. I gotta make sure my door's unlocked because my boy Nathan's gonna be here in a bit. All right, so this is more of a test than anything. Trying to make sure that we're not dropping any frames. So far, so good. I think the problem was I hadn't restarted my router in a while. But I wanted to get a new Ethernet cable anyway because this one's just a lot better than the one I had before. It's longer, but it also has the ability to fully click in to place and doesn't lodge itself out. So, yeah, it looks like it's the data rates are incredible on this. To be honest, much better than I expected. But I do want to talk about a quick subject. This is going to be a very short live video, by the way. But I want to talk about my thoughts on stocks being a much easier vessel and a better vessel than anything else. I love stocks, man. When it comes down to it, I prefer stocks over pretty much any other investment medium, mainly because when you invest in a company, which is what you're doing, you're not just buying a lottery ticket. You're buying ownership of a company, even at a small scale. Now, I will choose stocks over real estate any day. In fact, I love stocks more than real estate because stocks, it's a hands-off process. I think so many people want to be hands-on with everything in their lives. I say be hands-off. Not on everything. For instance, my YouTube channel. I'm extremely hands-on on this because I know I'm good at it, right? My stock portfolio, I'm very hands-on with that. I pay attention to it. I don't freak out when anything happens. I look for opportunities. I believe staying in the market is better than staying out of it. I think it's fantastic to stay in the market, and I wish more people would. Yeah, but my opinion overall is just invest. No, I don't believe there's any other option, man. But yeah, investing in stocks is far better than real estate, in my mind, in my opinion. And the logic behind that is, like I said, you don't have to be as involved in stocks as you do in real estate. In real estate, you are constantly kind of gambling with real estate sometimes. I've heard real estate horror stories that people never talk about. People always talk about the success stories with real estate, but nobody really ever talks about the horror stories and honestly just how bloody inconvenient it is. In today's age, you want to have investments that are convenient, not inconvenient, right? And the thing is, by the way, I don't have to borrow any money to invest in the stock market. Also, if I want to have real estate exposure, because look, real estate exposure is a good thing. real estate investment trusts are a viable option. And I'm a little bit surprised that more people don't go with real estate investment trusts as their alternative. Most people do, but some people don't. They'd rather just overly concentrate into a couple houses or a couple apartment complexes, and more power to you. But the thing is, I would much rather own a company that does all of that for me. When I own Realty Income, I don't have to manage any of those properties. Think about how hands-off that is. Now, granted, am I losing out on some money by delegating everything to the company Realty Income? Yes, absolutely. There's management fees. There's things that go into it, right? But at the end of the day, the cash flows are still so freaking good that you're going to get a pretty decent dividend, and that dividend not only grows, the appreciation of the share price appreciation will happen as well. What I'm trying to get at is this. You are giving yourself such an advantage by getting into real estate investment trusts over real estate itself. Because one, with real estate investment trusts, you are getting diversification like that. And if you diversify into REITs, if you have multiple different types of REITs in your portfolio, you're also protecting yourself by being exposed to different real estate sectors. Now, that's a big deal. Now, I also have international REITs, real estate investment trusts that exist outside of the U.S., companies that manage real estate outside of the U.S. It's big. A lot of those are actually in ETFs, primarily. International-based ETFs overall. But yeah, no, it's just pretty much it's what I do, man. Elusive says the returns are worse, but think about this, Elusive. The returns may not be as good in REITs as opposed to real estate, but the risk is less. You have less risk owning a REIT versus owning actual real estate, because if you're owning actual real estate, you're concentrating most of your net worth into a few houses or a few apartment complexes, whatever you're buying. Whereas with REITs, I mean, you're an owner in the company. You get dividends. You get a payout. Are you going to get the maximum payout? No, but think about all the time I save. The time that I save in not having to negotiate rents, in the time that I save not having to fix the properties, look how much money I actually make. Because most of my time can be spent on the YouTube channel, on swing trade investments, you name it, or just working other jobs. The beauty is I'm still getting passive income. The rents grow over time. And yes, there are management fees to consider. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I haven't thought of that. I'm just saying that I prefer my investments to be very, very hands-off. I want my investments to be hands-off. I think it's the way it should be. Let's take a look at the comments real quick, or at least some of them. The Major General says, be cautious with commercial real estate REITs. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing, man. I like the triple net lease ones. Those are my favorite overall, because triple net lease, man, that means that the company itself, like Realty Income, doesn't have to maintain the properties. The tenant does. The tenant has to maintain and pay rent and all that stuff. So I love the triple net lease REITs. Those are my favorite. Mortgage REITs I'm a little sketched out by, but I still have a couple mortgage REITs in my portfolio without a doubt. Without a doubt, man. What type of risk? Because REITs are still exposed to the same market risk. Only point is exactly. Diversification is the whole reason I prefer REITs over real estate. Now, do I get the fattest returns from REITs? No. I'll be the first to admit that. I'm not gonna tell you that, like, look, I'm not gonna say that, like, oh, REITs are gonna 10x or whatever. No, that's not true. That's not true. By the way, none of this is financial advice. This is just for entertainment, educational purposes only. And I also love debating the chat. So, Skibbity Toilet Brush says hello. What up, Skibbity? Elusive is... Oh, come on in. I'm just finishing up. Come on in, though. Feel free to... let me see. Put a belt on your ceiling. Gonna whip you later. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was drying it out because I was cleaning it. So what I do is after I clean it in the sink, I then just kind of hang it out to dry. It looks a little sketchy, though.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I was also choking myself while wanking it in the corner.
That I believe.
It's like, okay, there's the mic, I know.
Part of your OnlyFans.
Oh, man. I actually realized that the wireless router was causing some interference and stuff like that. Oh, here, I'll help you. Oh, yeah, I'm just chilling out. I'm actually, more so, I'm testing out the new Ethernet cable I got. Because what happened was I needed to move my wireless router further away. But the what do you call it? The yellow one I had is too short.
Laugh out loud.
It doesn't reach very far. So the blue one I was using kind of sucks ass. It's really old and it's all crinkled and it doesn't fully click in. So I was like, and there was a lot of problems with it. So I was like, eh. So I got a black one from Walmart. Once you go black, you just don't go back. But yeah, I'm going to be done here in just a second. This is more of a test stream, but I was decided I was going to argue with the chat because that's what I do. I'm like, you motherfucker, you're so fucking wrong. No, but let's see. Oh, I got a gifted membership. Somebody gifted another membership. That's my boy, the Major General.
Hell yeah.
So I'm arguing with this one dude and about REITs versus actual real estate, and I'm saying, look, if you're a guy that likes to not have to deal with tenants, not have to deal with like managing the properties themselves, REITs are perfect. You don't get the fattest returns from REITs, granted, but you get diversification.
Yeah, I'd say the more work, the more value you get out of it. So
yeah,
REITs, you're not going to get as much, but you also don't have to do as much.
Exactly. And these REITs, by the way, they get loans better than you can. They get loans, like Realty Income, for example, is going to get a loan at a lower interest rate than you as an individual would getting an actual house. You know what I mean? So Realty Income can grow faster than I can as an individual because Realty Income has that credit rating as a company to be able to go and get more things. Mm-hmm. Better fucking agree with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Where's my rent, bitch? Okay.
So Brad, if you're watching, I hope you're not. My landlord, Nate Dogg, is here. I was gonna pay him in Bitcoin.
Shitcoin.
But I was gonna pay him in my Bathmate coin, but I forgot to buy some. And then I was gonna pay him with I think I had a Trump hentai coin that I made. Ichigo hentai coin. That's another one I made. So he doesn't take any crypto. What a loser. He doesn't take my Bathmate coin. What a freak. But okay, let's see. I'm going to see what Elusive has to say, and then we're going to end the stream real quick. I'm going to narrate real fast. So Elusive is saying, and he's making some good points, by the way, because he is right. You do make more money doing real estate on your own.
Yeah. That's
true. But REITs, I want to spend more time doing this. I figure I'm better at this than I am at real estate. So I was like, if I'm shitty at real estate, then REITs are perfect for me. If I'm actually good at real estate and understand everything, then I should be buying properties instead of buying REITs. But for me, I'm a pussy, and I like diversification because diversification is a blanket of security. So I like the security. I like being held tight. All right, and REITs hold me tight. But Elusive is saying the diversification factor goes down, though, as soon as you pass a few doors, because then you aren't exposed to losing a tenant as much. So you're making a lower return with basically no benefit. But you got to realize that we're living in a weird age where tenants are getting more annoying. You know, tenants are getting more feisty. So wouldn't it be better to just outsource that to actual management teams? That's why I love Realty Income. I'm gay for it. Elusive says one more thing. Okay, so I will give you that about the loan terms. Next year, I will be able to get debt at 4.75% for refis. Hell yeah. That's perfect. If you can refinance your properties, it's even better. Elusive says, look up nano cryptocurrency. Dude, okay, how can you be into cryptocurrency and be into real estate? You're a fraud. I'm gonna try not to accuse anybody of being a fraud. It does sound like REITs are good because you have other interests. Cool stream, bud. Good but good luck with the real estate. Crypto's evil, by the way. But hey, if you're making money on the grift, I say sift the grift, but don't be the bag holder. I don't know. I'm trying to be a rapper. And look, we had no dropped frames on this stream. I fixed the problem, you guys. Well, Walmart fixed it by giving me a good deal on an Ethernet cord. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Much love. Give me gifts because you're all my sugar daddies and I am your spoiled